Hi. So I was doing laundry, right, and kind of ruined my chapstick a little bit. How do you... This is how you do it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's ruined. But anyways, there's this video that I've been wanting to do for like a while, but I kind of forgot about it. And I just remembered that I had this idea. Well, actually, yeah. I wrote down some things on what I wanted to talk about in this video. But basically, I wanted to do a video talking about what it's like to live with strict Hispanic parents. And even though these rules don't necessarily apply to me anymore because I am no longer a minor, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about how it was for me before. Let me know if any of you guys can relate to any of these things or if you're currently going through it. But honestly, I don't think my parents were that hard on me. Like, yeah, they're gonna have rules and stuff, but I feel like other people from like people that aren't Hispanic or don't have strict parents don't really understand like the struggles of living with strict parents, you know? Like, people can be close-minded and it's like,
you don't know what it's like. You don't have strict parents.
But anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna address some of the things that I do remember going through or like having to go through with my parents. So the first thing that I have on my list is coming home late. Yeah, back then I wasn't allowed to come home late, as in like late would be maybe like 10 or 11. I don't even think you're allowed to be out past like 11, I believe, if you're a minor. I think you're not supposed to be out between 11 p.m. until like 5 a.m. or something like that. So my mom would just go based off of that. But also, it was like weird, or like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. Like, it was weird to be out for so long, or like to be out all day and then come home super late, and it's like just coming home to sleep basically. And my mom would like say this thing like,
my house is not a hotel. You can't just come and go as you please. You need to let me know where you're at. You need to be home at a certain time. You need to tell me who you're going with. You need to tell me where you're gonna be, how you're gonna get there, how you're gonna get back, who's going.
she needed all the details. And this was like, I'm talking more like high school. So coming home late, not acceptable. Second thing I have is having a boyfriend. I wasn't allowed to have a boyfriend until I was like 16, I think. And if I did have one, I wasn't really allowed to like go to their houses or anything. They were not really allowed to come to my house either. They should have extended the age for that because boys are dumb. Another thing Hispanic parents do not like or will not tolerate are tattoos. No tattoos. I feel like even piercings will be a little bit of like crossing the line. Maybe like not ear piercings, but like any other type of piercing. And I'm saying this because a while back, I was already over 18, but I decided to pierce my nose. And for some reason I felt like I needed to ask for permission. You know, like technically you don't if you're over 18. You can technically do whatever you want, but out of respect I felt the need to ask. And my mom basically was like, well, it's your life, do whatever you want. And I didn't know what to do with that information because it kind of made me feel like I shouldn't get it, but I ended up getting it anyway. She did not like it. I kind of got off topic. Anyway, the point of that was no tattoos. I don't know what it is, like it's just like a Hispanic thing or something. They just don't like tattoos, like they don't like how they look, especially on girls. Next, college is mandatory. The expectation is no excuses. You're going to college, you need an education, you need a stable job, stable career. You already know. One thing that I think they do keep in mind is if you're not going to go to college, you need to at least have a plan and make sure that that plan or whatever it is that you have is going to feed you, that you can maintain yourself and be independent. Oh, another thing I wasn't allowed to do, I wasn't allowed to spend the night at my friend's house if they had older brothers, let alone even like go over it. Let's see. Oh yeah, so in my house we all have a passcode to our door. We all have passcodes, like the little beep beep beep. Yeah, we all have those on our doors, and for the most part we all know each other's passcodes. Like, well, I know everybody's passcode, but that's because I know how to respect privacy. Like with my siblings, I'm not always in their room for no reason, you know. It's more of like a safety thing. So yes, we can have our doors closed in our house. Oh yeah, okay. So this is a big one. I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna say what it is. I am not allowed to spend the night at a boyfriend's house. Ever. Even after 18, that rule still applies. And I think because I've grown with that mentality, and like that's how my parents raised me, and like they told me that it wasn't right. I wouldn't even feel comfortable, even if I was allowed to at this point. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that because I feel like it's not my place to be spending the night at other people's houses. Like, I don't want them to think that that their house is a hotel, you know, basically. I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable or like I'm invading their space, so I just kind of stay away from that. So yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that one. I just feel like it's more of like, for me, it's just like respect. I'm like respecting other people's homes. Oh yeah, if I wanted to go out before, I had to give like a 1 week notice if I was planning to go out with my friends or something. It can't just be the night before or like the same day, because then I wouldn't be allowed to go. Okay, even though I said that these things were like before I was a minor, I still had rules even after 18. I forgot what I was gonna say. So for a while after I was 18, I still had to follow rules, and they were still kind of a little bit, I wouldn't say like, I don't know what to call it. For some people, they think it's too strict because after 18, like, you shouldn't have to ask for permission. But at the same time, it's like, well, if you're still living with your parents, then you kind of don't have a choice. Like, you need to respect what they're saying. Oh yeah, another thing, if my mom was in a bad mood, not a good time to ask for permission to go somewhere. I will literally wait like however long it takes for her to be in a better mood, or I'm gonna have to wait till like the next day probably, because, and if it's not the next day, if she's still in a bad mood the next day, you still have to wait. Like, you can't just, no, it's gonna make it worse. When it comes to like makeup and stuff, I wasn't allowed to wear makeup until high school. But even in high school, I didn't even really wear makeup. All I really wore was mascara. And even now, I don't wear that much makeup, so I didn't really see a problem with that. Another thing that has to do with like asking for permission and stuff was if I wanted to go somewhere, I had to like clean something in exchange for going out. I had to do a chore or chores, multiple, you know? Oh, here's one that still applies, kind of. My mom doesn't like when I go out looking like a bum. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm talking about. Like sweats, no makeup, hair looks a mess. There's this one time I was gonna walk out of the house and I was wearing sweats, maybe like a baggy t-shirt or something. I wasn't wearing makeup. My hair was whatever, like it wasn't a mess, but I didn't do anything to it. I don't really do anything to my hair as it is. But yeah, she saw me, she was like, where are you going?
You're not going out like that. You need to go back into your room and change and get ready.
And I was like, wow, that kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. But I still went and changed. So there's that. Also, oh, another thing that has to do with like clothes and stuff, like I feel like showing, I don't know if it's really a rule, but like I feel like showing too much skin is just weird and it makes people uncomfortable. Like, I'm not even comfortable with that, but I typically don't even wear stuff that like shows too much anyway. But yeah, I don't think that's okay with like my parents. Oh, another thing, when I am out somewhere, this was still like, this rule still applied to me until not that long ago. Like recently my mom has been a little bit more lenient with me, well, a lot more lenient, honestly. I feel like honestly my parents were the perfect amount of strict. Like, it wasn't too restricting to where you like wanted to rebel against what they were saying, and it wasn't like you could just do whatever you want either. It was in the middle. So when I was out, I would still have to like check in every once in a while. Always answer phone calls and text messages, especially if you're out. When I was younger, my mom did let me celebrate Halloween. Like, she let me like live my childhood and stuff. But now my mom has kind of like changed her mind about it because of like our religion. Halloween isn't supposed to be celebrated because it's known to be the devil's birthday. So yeah, I don't know. Now my mom doesn't really approve of that, or giving out candy, any of that stuff. Decorating even, she won't let us decorate the house. But I mean, that's okay. Like, it's just, if she's not okay with it, then we just have to like respect that, you know. When I used to get grounded when I was younger, my phone would be taken away before bed. Yeah, I don't really know if this applies to like other Hispanic families, because honestly in our culture it's like normal to have kids at a young age, but at the same time it's not. So I'm kind of confused about that. But if you get pregnant at a young age, my parents will disown me and they will kick me out of this house. They will kick me out of the house. Life is hard. I am nowhere near ready for any of that stuff, so it's not something that I would even like argue about. Back in the day, it was like a normal thing to have kids at like 14. My camera stopped recording and I don't know why. But asking to go out at a late hour is risky, so I might as well not even do it. Oh, before, if I went out one day of the week, it's like, if you go out today, you can't go out tomorrow. That's too much going out. There's this thing they like say, if you're out too much, like if you're a girl at least and you're out too much, you're like considered like a street girl, like you just don't have a home or something. Okay, so for me, if I had bad grades, I would get grounded, and a B is considered a bad grade. Oh, another thing, if you're just like sitting on the couch all day and doing nothing, you will get yelled at for sure to like go do something, like go clean or help me cook or something. You can't just be laying on the couch all day without doing anything, you know. Can't say you're bored, because if you say you're bored in my house, my mom will tell you that there's plenty of things to clean, and if you're bored, to go clean something. Can't say you're bored in this house. And yeah, that's all the things I was able to think of. But if I left anything out, or there's things that you guys go through, honestly, like I said, my parents, I feel like they weren't even that strict, to be honest. I feel like people that have really strict parents, that just makes everything worse. They will purposely do the opposite of what you say. So you kind of have to give a little bit of freedom. And you know, I feel like because my parents gave me some freedom, it kind of made me think twice about the things that I was gonna do, like, you know, like my life decisions and stuff. That's all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know if you guys can relate, or if you have any other things that your parents, like if you have any different rules and you're Hispanic too, let me know, because I might have missed a couple. But yeah, that's for the most part, that's how it was for me, like from what I can remember. So thank you for watching my video. You can give it a thumbs up if you want. I don't really know what that does, but if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. Yeah, that's about it. All right, bye.